Yeah, so this was a breakthrough moment that happened just a few weeks ago, where we got Rolls Royce to speak publicly that they're working on an engine design for Overture, which is huge because without an engine, airplanes don't really fly.
Yeah,
It becomes a very expensive glider.
but more
Uh,
Red Flintstone aircraft.
right, exactly. So, and this is I'll tell you the story of this because it's one of the things I'm most proud of, and it literally went back 5 years. So we knew. I think I had my first call with Rolls Royce before I'd actually onboarded the first employee. It was literally like me and a couple advisors in Rolls Royce starting to talk about engines. So we knew it'd be the long pole in the tent. And for and we look at that. If you look at that relationship over 5 years, there were a couple of key inflection points where we were able to like really move it forward. And I can tell some of those stories because they are, I don't know, I think they're just fun stories. One was around the time we were raising our Series A, and so at this point we'd raised a few $1 million in seed funding, but not enough to build an airplane or to kind of do anything interesting. And our secret fear was that this company would come and go without ever having built anything real. Well, how do we raise $30-odd million to go build a supersonic jet? And we had potential investors, and the smart ones are asking questions like, who's going to build the engine? We were able to get phone calls with Rolls Royce, and of course they would say, who in the world is investing in this company? And they all wanted to talk to each other. And so what we ended up doing was we threw a big party. We built a full mock-up of XB1 out of styrofoam and hard coat. We basically bet the company on it. We spent a non-trivial percentage of all the money we had in the bank to go build this mock-up and throw a party. And we invited everyone we could think of. So we invited Rolls Royce and GE, and we invited all the airlines we could get to come, and we invited prospective investors, and we invited half a dozen former Concorde pilots and engineers that we could find, because we were like, how can we add like maximum credibility to this unveiling of a paperweight? And so we threw a big party, and we very proudly said this is XB1 in mock-up form, and people were excited by it. And then the next day we used for biz dev. And so we had prospective Series A investors, and we had Rolls Royce, and we took a deep breath and we said, okay, Rolls, would you be willing to do us a solid and meet with some of these investors and tell them why you like Boom, why you flew across the pond to have this conversation? And then we went to the investors and we said, well, we understand you like to add value. Can you show that to us by telling Rolls Royce why you think this is a really interesting company to fund? And then we kind of held our breath, and we put them in a conference room together, and basically watched as they closed each other. And so that really accelerated. It made our Series A happen, and it really accelerated the engagement we have with Rolls. And then so that's inflection point number one, and that got us to the point of like a little bit of technical work and like regular quarterly meetings.